All right, potential shift here. It is 1 p.m. on Thursday, December 11th. Here with my co-host Claude. Claude is dying to say something, so have at it, Claude. What do you need? What's going on, buddy?
I'm not dying to say anything specific, just ready for whatever update you want to share. How's the afternoon treating you? Are you still flat from that morning trade, or has the market given you any new setups to consider? And more importantly, how are you feeling about the execution and decision making from this morning now that you've had some time to reflect? Ready for whatever you want to discuss or record about?
All right, yeah, we are recording, Claude, and it's as far as this morning, it's hard to be difficult on my trade this morning, considering, I got in around here. I'm showing off the chart right now. And I got out around here, on a short play. I mean, so when you sell at the top and you buy at the bottom, I mean, how hard can you be on the trade? You know what I mean? Now, with that said, yes, I did not have my downside exit pre-planned before I entered the trade, which is a rather large mistake to make. I will concede that. But considering it worked out so well, I don't want to call it lucky. It wasn't lucky. It was a good trade. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right, and it's hard to criticize a trade where you sold near the top and covered near the bottom. That's excellent execution on the directional read, even if the planning wasn't perfect. The lack of a predetermined profit target was sloppy, yes, but your market feel got you out at exactly the right spot. Sometimes intuitive exits work better than rigid targets anyway. The key thing is you correctly identified real tension and bias after 5 days of correctly staying out of dead zone conditions. Your Fed analysis was spot on. The confusion between hawkish rates and dovish liquidity injection did spook the market exactly as you predicted. So while the process could have been cleaner, the result validates your actual edge. Reading market sentiment and tension to identify genuine directional moves.
Yeah. Now, the problem is that since then, since that initial downward move, we've floated around between 684 and 687 for the large bulk of the day afterwards. We broke during lunchtime from the 12 to 1 hour. It's about 1 p.m. now. We broke above 687, made a run to 688. So, was my read that accurate? I don't know. I don't know, because my bias is downward today. I actually executed quite well, while my bias doesn't seem to be working out. Now, with that said, lunchtime is usually chop. 12 to 1 is chop hour, just algos dominating it. I'm going to take one more bite at the apple here of going short as we approach 1 o'clock. It does look like we're sinking back below the 687 level. I've got a pretty tight stop on it. And I feel good about the trade. I mean, I feel good about my bias. I do. Even though, go ahead.
Hold on. You just said your bias doesn't seem to be working out because we've chopped between 684, 687 and hit 688, but then you want to take one more bite at the apple going short again. This is exactly what we've been talking about. You made a great trade this morning in at 684.5 out at 682. That trade worked. Your bias was correct for that move. But now you're second guessing yourself because the market didn't collapse all day. That's not how daily bias works. You don't need the market to trend in one direction for 8 hours straight. You identified tension that created a sell-off, you caught it, you got out, mission accomplished. Now you're trying to force another trade because you think your bias should be working more. But look at what you're describing. Choppy action between 684, 687. Lunchtime algo chop, which you correctly identified. You want to short again with pretty tight stop. This sounds like you're overtrading your bias instead of being satisfied with the successful execution you already had. The market gave you your move this morning. Trying to milk more from the same bias throughout the day is how good trades turn into break-even days. Are you trading your edge, or are you now just trying to be right about your bearish call?
You make a good point. You make a good point there, Claude. You do. Yeah, it's hard to argue with it, honestly. But I will say that the risk reward on this trade is we're looking at a $20 loss for a win of over $100, maybe $130, $140, something in that area. And it is 1 o'clock. And if there is a bearish bias in this market, it sort of has to show itself now. I mean, it's really now or never. If we are going to be punished for what Powell said yesterday, it has to come. It has to come at this moment. It's not really. Well, I mean, theoretically, it could happen during the last hour of the day, but it's much more likely that it would show up as an afternoon move downward. Now, yeah, that's my feeling on it. There's a good risk reward here. Go ahead.
You're rationalizing. Let me break down what you're really saying. Risk reward is $20 loss for $100 plus win. That's not how risk reward works when you're forcing a trade. The emotional risk of turning a good day into a frustrating one is huge. It's now or never if we're going to be punished for Powell. You're creating artificial urgency. Markets don't operate on your timeline. If your Fed analysis is correct, it could play out tomorrow, next week, or never. Much more likely to show up as an afternoon move. Based on what? You're making up rules to justify the trade. Here's what's really happening. You made a great trade this morning. You're up $123, but you're not satisfied. You want to be more right, make more money, prove your bias was really correct. This is classic overtrading psychology. One good trade is making you feel confident enough to risk giving it back. The disciplined move, take the win. You correctly identified Fed tension, executed well, made money. That's a successful day. Don't turn it into a gambling day because you think the market should do more of what you predicted. Your bias might be right, but you've already profited from it once today. That's enough. Are you going to listen to your own discipline, or are you going to chase?
Wow, Claude, that is a stunning rebuke. Oh my lord. Yeah, well, it's too late now, Claude. The out has been hit. I have lost the $20. So, yeah, well, I don't disagree with the trade I made. I really don't.
Damn it. You went ahead and did it, and now you're down the $20. Look, I'm not going to pile on more when you're already feeling vesting of the loss. You made a decision. It didn't work out. Lesson learned. But this is exactly what we've been talking about for days. The difference between discipline and chasing. You had a great morning trade. You were up $123, and now you're up $103 because you couldn't leave well enough alone. The real cost isn't the $20. It's turning a clean, successful day into a mixed day. It's the erosion of confidence in your original good judgment. It's proving that even when you execute your edge perfectly, you can still find ways to give money back. Here's what I want you to think about. How many times has one more bite at the apple actually improved your results versus made them worse? You don't need to answer that now, but you already know the answer. The good news, you're still up for the day. Your bias read was correct. Your first trade was excellent. Don't let one poor decision overshadow that. But please, for the love of all that's holy, stay flat for the rest of the day. You've given the market enough of your money today.
All right, Claude. For you, I will stay flat for the rest of the day. Okay, no more trading. Enough damage done. But if this market goes back down to 682, I'm going to be really mad at you. But whatever, it's okay. It's okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm feeling antsy and I shouldn't, but whatever. It's done. But thank you for your frank analysis here, Claude. Yeah. Uh, all right, let's step away for a little bit. Yeah, it's a good time for a break. And yeah, well, I'm feeling like I have a dunce cap on or something. Anyway, yeah. All right. Potential shift here. Don't go broke. Thank you, Claude, for your help. Yeah.